What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2023 Genesis Scottish Open DFS preview. Talking DraftKings DFS. DB here, Pat Perry there.
Hello.
Coming off yet another winner. I know not the betting show. You had Seb Straka. You're up nearly 80 units on the season. Congratulations, sir. You're having a fantastic year.
Thank you. It's been a good one. I haven't had the greatest year in DFS, like in DFS land.
DFS land.
But it has been a good for outrights for sure.
Yeah. Listen, we got a great show. We're going to talk about every angle of the DFS streets for the Genesis Scottish. We're recording this a little early. This is about 4:00 in the afternoon on Monday. Already got the betting show out, getting this out a little bit early because everything starts a little bit early, for us United States people. So we're just trying to give it to you quick and dirty. That's how we like it. That's how you probably like it. That's how we like it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about every range, some of the leans we have, where the chalk might be, some cash plays, and obviously the 6K draft at the end. Before we do that, though, a lot of people have been saying they like this little recap that we do, this DFS recap for the John Deere Classic. Maybe we can learn a little something. Maybe we can file something away for the old memory banks when it comes to making a profitable DFS lineup. Seb Straka, obviously your winner, but I got some notes here about the John Deere. Your perfect lineup, Pat. You would have spent about $49,700 of your $50,000 salary cap. So, almost spent it all. You'd have had around 60% to 65% total ownership between all your players. You would have had one 10K player, and it would have been Ludwig Aberg.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You would have had two 8K players, Sepp Straka and Alex Smalley. And you would have had three 7K players, Brendan Todd, Lucas Glover, and Kevin Yu. So that would have been your perfect lineup. It would have scored around 722.5 points. But here's some things to note. 8 of the top 10 highest DraftKings point scorers averaged 10% or greater average ownership, including Straka, who was just over 10%. So it was kind of a chalky deer. A little bit of a chalky deer.
Yeah. Which surprised me a little bit, actually, DB, because I was on record in our chat that I was not going to be chalky.
Yeah.
And that didn't necessarily pan out. I don't know what I said on the show. Can't remember that far back. But I do remember saying that I wasn't going to be chalky. I didn't want to be chalky.
Well, and I obviously every year there can be fluctuations to this. I think in years prior to the Deere, we had talked about how it was a very balanced approach that did things. And Ludwig was kind of not. I mean, he surged on Sunday to project himself into the perfect lineup. But McCarthy, Cam Young, Aberg, all at 10K, and all pretty much paid off at their price tag. I mean, I guess with McCarthy and Young, you weren't dead if you didn't have them, but they played well. Henley was the only 10K player that really he was bad. He sucked. There were zero. This is something to remember, I think, for these weak field events. 0 6K players in the top 10 DraftKings points, but a handful, definitely more than paid for their price tag, including a couple of the PGA Tour U guys. William Mao had a week. But I mean, in that horribly weak field, I think I said it on the show last week. I wasn't going to be in the 6K range very much. I didn't play, but just like maybe 2 6K guys. One of them was Ryan Moore. I can't remember who the other one was. He missed the cut. But when it's really, really weak, that 6K is really, really, really weak.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was, from what I remember, it's quite difficult for us to come up with the 6K draft lineup.
Yeah, the 6K draft didn't do as great. We had 4 miss the cut. We each got 1 through the cut. I had Satoshi Kodaira. That was the other one I played. Finished T57, could not make a freaking putt to save his life. And you had Grayson Sick, who did finish T13. So not there were some 6K guys that paid off, but for the most part, you were fine if you avoided the range. More than half of the chalkiest. Oh, I already said that about the 10K guys. Now we'll say I said the perfect lineup, but the $20 pitch and putt contest winner did not have anyone in their lineup over 9.5K. They had a 9K player, 2 8K players and 3 7K players. That was the lineup comp. So
That's good info.
things to file away, things to remember as we, continue this DFS battle that is regularly changing as people are more informed, as there's more sites and models and data and all that other stuff. Pretty chalky John Deere.
Yeah.
A lot of winners in the Nut Hut, though. We had a lot of winners in the Nut Hut. A lot of people tailing the Straka pick. I gave out a couple winning prize picks cards 2 out of the 3 days I did it, I think. So we profitable week for prize picks. That was good, and props and underdog and all that good stuff. By the way, you can sign up for underdog. Link in the description. So we had a good time. We had some good chat. I think Seth Straka came up in the chat on Wednesday night.
I'm pretty sure he did. I saw somebody hit like 15 grand over the
I didn't even see that.
I think there was maybe it's in winning.
Nice. In the winning tab?
Maybe not.
Let's give them a shout out if they did.
I thought it was Eric Cole. Not the golfer Eric.
Oh, yeah, the other Eric Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, we also had our boy Vince Margiotta, Money Mark, hit the 9-1 Savior Ass Sunday parlay. That's free on tourjunkies.com. If you're not checking out the tourjunkies.com blog every week, our boy Jack Latterman drops something every Monday morning around the clubhouse to keep you caught up on the world of golf outside of maybe betting and DFS. It's a great article. Our boy Nate Moore drops his course preview, his key stats, and a few other things, including some picks from him. It's always a very good read. Our boy AK does the power fade. Not a good week for the power fade. He faded 2 bold DraftKings players last week, and they both did pretty well. That was kind of bad. And then Vince does Let's Go Juicing and the Save Your Ass Sunday parlay. A lot of good content over on tourjunkies.com. All of it is free, so you might want to check that out. I do see a ton of winning props tickets. I will say that. A lot of winning props tickets in the winning section on the Nut Hut, so it's awesome stuff. By the way, we did announce the Nut Hut. We announced this on the betting show, but starting on August 26th, every Saturday from August 26th until the end of the NFL season, we will have a Soket football Saturday in the Discord, in the Nut Hut. To all members will be available to get in on that, where Soket is going to send over one of their NFL college football handicappers to do a live chat with the whole Discord and get prepared for the football weekend in both college and pro. It's just some added value that we want to bring to the Discord in the fall during football season when everybody's focused on football and golf kind of takes a back seat. It's going to be a great time. And the cappers at Soket are all verified and trusted, good performing handicappers. So it'll be a good time. It'll be good conversation, good dialogue. It'll probably cover DFS, betting, props, the works. All that starts really week 0 of the college football season, August 26th. There'll be a few games. On that one, we might talk some season win totals, NFL stuff, all that good stuff. But every Saturday, Soket Saturdays in the Discord. Another reason to go ahead and join the Discord. Sign up now. It's only $20 a month, $199 a year if you want to get the whole shebang. I think that's what you should do. So check that out. Let's talk about the Genesis Scottish Open. We don't necessarily have to do a course preview, but I do have some data that we could go over in terms of last year. Last year, your perfect lineup, Pat, would have included Xander Schauffele, Kurt Kitayama, who kind of came out of nowhere at this event, Cameron Tringali. Do you remember what he did here last year?
I think he was in the top 15 or 20, right?
I can't remember where he finished, but he shot an opening round 61. He was going unconscious. Like, do you remember? Like, I just remember everybody being like, "What the crap is going on?" Like, he was playing a different golf course because it wasn't that easy.
Yeah. Cam Tring.
Yep. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with him right now.
Yeah, but I bet he was a pretty decent odds for first round leader for that one. But yeah, okay. Well,
he probably was. He ended up finishing T6 at 3 under. Anyway, Tringali, Tom Kim kind of had a breakout here, finished 3rd. Jordan Spieth, Matt Fitzpatrick, he would have scored around 529 DraftKings points. So a lot lower scoring here. Obviously, the winning score was 7 under when Xander won. Lower scoring affair than what we've had the last couple of weeks. $49,200 would have been your lineup. So comfortable leaving some cash on the table there at around 55% total ownership, and you would have had one 10K player. I believe that was Xander. One 9K player, one 8K player, one 7K player, and 2 6K players. 5 of the top 10 DraftKings point scorers were owned at 10% or greater, but only 3 over 15%. There were 5 6K guys, this is key, in the top 10 DraftKings point scores. Half of the top 10 point scores were in the 6K range.
Wow.
Solid field. Might have some of that DP World Tour contingent.
That's what I was thinking. That's my first thought when the brain starts triggering, the synapses are firing. When you said that was all right, we got a few DP World Tour guys that may not be as known that we can give you some knowledge on in the show.
There you go. 8 of the top 10 in percentage to DraftKings points. So kind of like returning proper value. 8 of the top 10 there were in the 6K range, and 4 of them were full-time DP World Tour players. And only 3 of the top 10 chalkiest players paid off their price tag. And none of them were at 10K or above. Only Xander in the 9K was the only player of the top 10 chalkiest to pay off their price. It was an interesting year, interesting tournament. So Renaissance Club, good golf course. There's a ton more research and intel that we've dropped in the Discord. We'll do more of that as the week progresses. But let's get into the top of the DraftKings board here.
All right,
Patrick. You don't have John Rahm. You don't have Tony Finau. I guess we don't have Colin Moore. Why is Colin Morikawa not here?
I don't know. Maybe he's that is surprising that he's not here.
I thought he was going to be here. Did he play last year? I don't know why I'm just now thinking about this. Am I missing his name? No, he's not in here. Okay. No. 10K and above range. I can't figure out what's going to happen with this. It might just be one of those weeks where like 6 guys here are at 15% plus. I don't know what I'm not sure what people are going to do with Scotty and Rory. Every time I think that they're not going to play him, they still play him.
I think they're still going to be a little bit chalky.
Yeah. I mean, they're never going to be sub 15%. Like that'll never happen. But I don't know. Like, are they going to get, like, neither one of them are going to get to like 24, 23, right? Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Not in a field like this?
Not in this field, and not with the winner last year right beneath them, and then Cantlay, who also played extremely well last year. That is certainly gonna pull some ownership off those 2 guys.
You saying that reminds me, one thing we didn't mention is don't forget the weather matters. Weather matters a ton here in Scotland, and it can change quickly. It's already changed since the weekend. I was looking at it here again before the show. It's changing a lot. Last year, there was over a 2-stroke advantage for the AM PM wave at this event. So you do not want to. I wouldn't get too committed to your DK lineup structure just yet, because I think we got to get till Wednesday to kind of see what the course is going to look like. Plus, I think there's some rain coming. It might soften up some things. So I remember that because Cantlay finished 4th and came out of the bad side of the draw. It was a great tournament for him coming out of the tough side. Yeah, I mean, I think Rory would actually be the one to entice me the most up top between him and Scheffler, which is weird for me to say. But, I mean, Scheffler putting on, like, really massive, slowish greens in Scotland, and just, like, trusting him to have to make the 5 to 10 footers, the 3-putt avoidance factor concerns me a little bit. Plus, he's $700 more than Rory. Like, to me, that price is... That's up there. It feels like they priced it with Rahm in the field and then realized Rahm wasn't here. It's like, well, let's make Scheffler 11-6 and Rahm 11-2, and then Rory 10-9.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's if you look at it that way, I think you're right. I mean, for me, I do agree. I think if I'm going up here, it's Rory between those 2 for sure. I'd rather just save that $700. And, it just feels like, Scotty did miss the cut here last year. Rory didn't play last year, but, and both of them are in fantastic form. But I would rather save the money there and go with Rory.
What's your, what do you think about Ricky? Like, and I mean, aside from just like DFS, just in general, coming off the win, big monkey off his back. goes to Wemby with Spieth and JT
Mhm.
and the Wemby boys, does that whole thing. Going to Royal Liverpool next week where he finished runner up to Rory in 2014. Now ready to maybe get the major championship off his back. Where does this tournament like? What does your gut tell you about Ricky's week? Does he keep it rolling? Finished 47th here last year.
I think he keeps it rolling. I think Ricky has a lot of confidence right now, and I think Ricky, um, he just seems to be in a great spot, not only like personally with life, but with his game and
Real
everything
cute
else.
kid, man. He's got a real
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, he's just things are good in
Yeah.
Ricky's world, and he can focus on golf. And I like the fact that they came over the week before. He's got a little time to get acclimated, have some fun while you're over there, relax, and then get into tournament play here and be serious about, maybe a win at the Scottish Open and then the Open Championship coming up in a couple weeks. So, and this happened by the way with more. Speaking of Morikawa, we talked about that. You remember he won the week before he won the Open Championship, and everybody was like, "There's no way he's going to come in and win the Open Championship after," and then he ends up winning. So I don't know if that's going to happen with Fowler, but I'm just I think that you're seeing Ricky in peak form, and this style of golf it fits his game. He likes it. We've always seen Ricky kind of play well in different weather conditions. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, if you're choosing between the three there too, JT, Jordan, and Ricky, I'm definitely I think Ricky's, which is weird to say after all he's been through the last couple of years. I mean, he's the one I'm the most confident in
All right,
going out.
so our boy Spaz in the Discord that helps run the Discord, and he helps compile. He goes to about 5 or 6 different ownership projection sources for DFS, and aggregates all those projections and spits them out in the Discord and the Nut Hut for everybody. We use it on Wednesdays for our chat. Spaz loves to do this. The DFS Marry F Kill game. You got to
Mm,
marry one of them, and this is DFS. So marry means
mhm.
like I'm going overweight, overexposure. You got to F one of them, which might mean like a one night stand, like maybe a little sprinkle here and there. And
Yeah,
then kill is obviously the fade. Marry F kill DFS the Wimby boys, JT, Spieth, Ricky. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna marry Ricky. I'm
Well,
gonna
okay, even if he's chalky, he's chalky. You gonna do
don't
it?
I don't care. I'm doing
Okay.
it. I'm marrying him. I'm effing Jordan Spieth, and I'm killing JT.
God, talk dirty to me.
I mean,
I
because
think
because I'd like some Jordan this week. I like Jordan. I want to get in bed with them. You
God,
know.
he I don't know what to do. I Jordan's inconsistency lately is bothering me. I had a bunch of him at the U.S. Open. I think he missed a cut on the number. If I knew that JT gonna be low owned at 8,300 with Aberg right there? Everybody wants to get on Aberg. You think he'll be low owned? Like, and when I say low owned, I mean like, is he gonna be like 10 to 12?
I do think he'll be 10 to 12.
Will he be 15?
No.
If he's not 15, I go marry Ricky FJT.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a little
Mm.
I'm just a little interested. He showed some promise at the Travelers, I think. T9. Good like linksish player, good creative player, good around the green. We're waiting on the putter to kind of get back in order. Just with the cheaper price, the save. I mean, I save $1,000 from Jordan. If I got he's a cheaper. He's a cheap escort. You know.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I don't know. I think that might be what I do. I don't know. I'm interested. Anyway, who's getting who are the low owned guys? Because I mean, the 9K and 10K range are all stacked. There's everybody in here we can make a case for.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love Fleetwood's chances. I love Terrell Hatton here
Love
at Links
Hatton.
Course.
I like Hovland too. Like I
Love
would feel
Hovland,
really good about just even throwing out the 10K range here and just
100%.
starting. Fitzy, I like. I like Fitzy. I think Fitzy's going to be low owned too, DB. I
You think
do.
so?
Yeah.
So Fitzy might get squeezed.
I mean,
Uh,
he was 6.8% at the Open, at the US Open.
Lowry's going to get squeezed again, and I've been banging the Lowry drum for a lot of the year. And I mean, it's not like top 10s, but it's solid top 20s at 9,100.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like him to do a little better than top 20, but Lowry's going to get squeezed again.
He
Clark,
was another one like Fitzy. I mean, he was 5% at the U.S. Open and less than 5 at the PGA.
yeah. Clark, I like a lot. He might be chalk, but at 9K even, 16th place finish here last year, obviously playing well. So yeah, I think Lowry, Fitzy, I think you're right, are the ones that get squeezed out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I play anybody in this range squeezed at low ownership. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the cookie crumbles, how the chalk plays out. Let's move on to the 8K range. Before we do, want to thank our friends at Front Nine Coffee. If you are not taking advantage of the awesome discount that we have at Front Nine Coffee, that's the number 9coffee.com. Promo code TJ10 gets you 10% off your entire order and every order. You can use it over and over again. So if you bought it and you want to reorder, you can do that. They'll send it to you in a either whole bean. They'll grind it for you. They'll send it in K-cups now. They're delicious. Me and Pat have our own flavors. It's some of the best coffee that you could ask for, and it's from a great small business started right here in Augusta, Georgia, looking to serve all the golf and coffee lovers in the U.S. It'll ship to your door within just a few days. They're going to roast it after you order, so you know it's fresh. It's not just sitting in there getting baggy and gassed up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing, and they're good supporters of the Tour Junkies now for over a year and a half. We appreciate Front Nine Coffee. If you love coffee and you appreciate the show, and then you should appreciate some sponsors of ours and check out Front Nine Coffee. Link is in the description. Promo code TJ10. All right, 8K range. 8K range. Starting off with Minwoo Lee, who won here, not at this tournament, but at the Aberdeen Scottish Open, the DP World Tour event, won in 2021. You got Homa, Rosie, Sungjae, Tom Kim, Burns, JT, who we just talked about, Ludwig on the charter from the JDC at 8,200, and Adam Scott and Corey Connors. You know what? I actually think I'll just get this out of the way. In cash up top, I would just do like Hatton or Hovland. But here, I actually think I'd do Ludwig. I think I would take Ludwig.
I agree. I don't mind him in cash the way he's been playing.
Yeah, I mean, doing everything pretty damn well.
There's not a ton in here that really feel all that cash. Justin Rose, I think.
Yeah,
I would play Rose in cash.
Rose, I would probably consider Rose second to Ludwig. I think Minwoo is still kind of an easy fade for me. A popular $8,900 easy fade for me. And everybody's excited to play Minwoo every week, but he's just still a little inconsistent for me with the ball striking with the irons. I mean, I know he's played a lot better here lately, but still just a little inconsistent to me for to justify a chalky highest price guy in the 8K range situation. So I'll probably look. I'm sure he'll be popular, so I'll probably bounce on that. I'm willing to take a shot on Homa. Feels a little scary, but I'm willing to take a shot on Homa. I worry a little bit about his limited kind of links record and just experience in general. But he did finish 16th here last year, and then I think he went on to miss the cut at the Open last year, if I remember correctly. Wasn't he walking on the bridge with Tiger on the way to missing the cut?
Yeah, he was. Tom Kim for me is the one in this range that is like I think I'm willing to take a little chance on some Tom Kim.
See, I thought you were going to say you were not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's when we were going through looking at the betting show, I think 60-1 Tom Kim was kind of interesting me a little bit.
Really?
Obviously, he has a good history here from last year. Played extremely well. Finished third, solo third. We saw that U.S. Open kind of run that he had, which I think is probably the reason that it's popping for me. I know he didn't really follow that up with he did finish T38 at the Travelers, but he missed the cut at the Rocket Mortgage after that. But I think that's what we're getting from Tom Kim right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a lot of upside potential,
Yeah.
probably low ownership, but you could also be ejecting from the golf tournament on Friday and all your lineups are shot if you go all in, which is why I just want a little piece.
Yeah, looking at digging into this range a little more is making me now convinced that there are going to be 3 popular players here: Min Woo, Justin Rose, and Aberg.
Yep.
Um, which means you know you can make a nice pivot decision to probably Connors, probably Adam Scott. We'll see about JT. I would say for sure probably Sam Burns, uh, Sung Jae for sure, Homa for sure. TK may get a little love just because of the 3rd place finish last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe get
Connors is interesting me too. I don't know what it is.
it.
He
It feels like he's kind of weatherproof. You know, he's long enough. If it rains, like there is projected to be a lot of rain. If it rains and the course kind of softens up, he's long enough to do some damage. Um, if everybody, you know, if the green and red rate is so low, which it is here, and he's like way above the field in that, that feels good. I don't know if like the slow green speeds will help him be a better putter. I mean,
yeah.
it didn't help him last year. He was 61st, but I mean, I kind of take some of the performance of last year with a grain of salt, depending on if they were on the wrong side of the wave or not. And I don't know if he was, but I could like, would you rather have Connors or Scott as a pivot?
I think I'd rather. I know I talked about Scott on the betting show, but I think I have a little more confidence here that Connors could have the upside there in DFS.
I think I prefer Scott. Scott is 79th in the FedEx Cup standings. He's on the outside looking into that top 70. He actually mentioned it in a press conference. I know that because every week I read all the press transcripts and
Hmm.
I put the relevant ones in the Nut Hut so you don't have to read all that crap and I do it for you. At the Travelers, he made mention that he was here because or he was excited to have a good week because he'd kind of been looking at where he stood in the FedEx Cup standings. He wants to get in that top 70. Obviously, he wants to do better than that, but first off, he's got to get in the top 70. I think Scott may be a little. He's got the distance, which I think this is definitely a bomber's course, whether it's wet from the rain or not. I think it's a bomber's course with only 50% of the fairways getting hit by by most of the field. So I could see Scott, being an interesting pivot here.
Yeah, I mean, what do you? I guess you don't have to worry too much about the driving accuracy numbers, which is where Adam Scott.
Yeah, you don't.
So
I mean, literally last year the average was 48% of the fairways. I mean,
yeah, so you don't really
Xander
have.
Xander did exactly that. Kurt Kitayama hit 42% of his fairways. The best fairway number of all the players in the top 10 last year, which there were 15 of them in the top 10. The best was Cam Smith. Holy shit. Cam Smith at 61.5 and Tom Kim at 61.5.
I should stick to my Adam Scott thing then, because I was on him on the betting show too.
Yeah.
I guess it's just when I'm looking at him versus Connors, they're actually both of them have very similar recent form. Like they both have ninth place finishes and a top 20 finish in
Mhm.
their last 3 events. So they've been fairly similar on a form standpoint, but um,
I think I actually trust I think I trust Scott to do better on links.
yeah,
He's probably got more of a, I'm sure he's got more of a substantial links record. The guy's got 4 top 10 finishes in his last 6 events.
okay.
Like he's kind of
I'll
balling out right now.
need to stick to my guns there with Adam Scott then.
And the putter's been good, dude. Look at the putter. Look at how good he's been putting.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's different than Connors.
No, his putting's been terrible, but it always is.
All right, well maybe the Adam Scott play is kind of the move. Maybe a little Scott Thomas, skip off the Aberg ownership and go Scott and Thomas,
Mhm.
the 2 bread pieces. Aberg's that beef in the middle, you know. All right, let's move on. 7K range. I this is one of those where I definitely see a handful of players getting popular, but I don't think anybody's gonna be super popular. I do think Smalley's gonna get a fair amount of love at 7,900. Just
I agree.
to watch him lead the field significantly in approach play at the John Deere and just throw darts, that translates anywhere, and he finished 10th here last year. So Smalley will be popular. I think from there, I actually think Doug Gim is gonna be.
Man, I'm not touching Doug Gim.
Did you know Doug Gim finished 16th here last year?
I don't care.
Look at his form.
Did he miss a cut last week?
No, he didn't. He did not.
He didn't?
No. He finished 26th.
Oh. Maybe I was just stopped focusing on him because he was on the betting card and he didn't have a chance to win. I thought like everybody missed the cut except for Straka.
I mean, if you're on
Like, I mean, I'm sorry.
What an embarrassment of riches. If you're on the betting card and you don't have a chance to win, you write them off in your brain.
Yeah, in my brain.
Like they didn't even show up for the weekend. Every meal's a banquet, every day's a holiday, huh? When you're Pat Perry in the outright market. I mean, Gim has 6 consecutive top 33s.
That is pretty good.
He's
I
playing
agree.
really well.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the Wells Fargo elevated, Travelers elevated. I think he might get. I think he's cheap. He's 7,500. I think he's just gonna be a little bit. I think he's gonna get picked up. I think Robert McIntyre, who I definitely like, the Scot, is playing well. Missed the cut here last year, but playing nicely. Everybody loves little Bobby Mack. He'll probably get talked up. I could see him being popular. Other than that, I don't think it's a whole lot of folks. I think it's like Smalley. Maybe, I mean, is Eric Cole going to continue to get some
I don't think he will, but just because he's,
no record out
no
here?
real record out here. So
I mean, dude, the way that guy plays, he's probably played
he's like
11
foolproof.
40 mini tour events out here. Nobody even knows.
Yeah.
Anybody else you think will be popular?
I think Aaron Rye could get some ownership.
Past champion at the Aberdeen.
I think he could get
Playing
some.
well.
Other
But then
than
you
that,
got Rasmus, right? I think between Rasmus and Smalley right there with him, Rasmus just winning on the DP World Tour this week, and also a top 10 or 15 finish last year at this event. I don't know. Rye might get. I mean, it might get spread out a little bit right there.
yeah.
I think what it does mean with all the people going to Smalley, maybe Rye, maybe Rasmus, I think Sahith is an interesting pivot option. We'll see if the rest of the community feels the same way. But you talk about creativity, you talk about short game. That's all right up Sahith's alley. But it's a place you don't have to hit 60% of the fairways, which is also up Sahith's alley. Is not hitting 60% of the fairways. So I like that for Sahith. I just feel sneaky good about his week. I hope people are kind of like, maybe the shine's worn off. I mean, he hasn't had a top 20 finish since his 5th place at the Heritage.
Yeah.
I mean,
If I feel like the upgrade though from Sahith is Ryan Fox. Ryan Fox
I
is the
love
same,
Ryan
like
Fox.
all over the place with the T-ball. Matter of fact, like if you look at stats, now I know it's not all equal because it's a little bit different between what we're getting between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour, but they are both very similar as far as driving accuracy, but they do some other things well. But I like Ryan Fox a lot. So
do people ask, somebody brought this guy's name up in the chat in the First Look show this morning. I just never get there. Do you ever get there with Lucas Herbert, who has played really well at the Aberdeen Scottish?
I don't, and it's like I just can't. And when I have tried to play him, which it has happened, I have not bet him outright. I'm pretty sure, but I've played him in DFS. It never works out. It never works out.
Yeah,
but I have seen his name like kind of popping up, and he did have a top 15 at the Travelers, so maybe that's one reason.
I'm just not sure I've ever regretted not playing him, other than like the one tournament he won, which wasn't it like an alternate field event or something?
Yeah,
back in the day.
I don't. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about him this week.
Um, who would go in a cash lineup for you in the 7K range? Would it be
Well, you
Smalley?
kind of talked me into Doug Gim,
Smalley and Gim?
Smalley, Gim.
I mean, I put Fox in there.
I think Fox could potentially be in there. I don't think I'd want to go much lower than that. I mean, there are some at the bottom of this range that I think have, like Jordan Smith is one, but I
Yeah.
don't think I'd put him in a cash.
We're gonna go to Gary Woodland, aren't we? If we talk about that at the betting show, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, shit. It seems like right now, I mean, he finished 30th here last year. He's hitting it great. It seems like right now the worst that could happen is like a T35,
Yeah.
and that's with him losing more strokes than anyone else in the field putting, and it still is probably a T35.
Yeah, I'm playing Gary. This is the first time in a while, actually, I think I have played him. I didn't really I know I felt like the Memorial where he did get a top 25, there were people starting to get on him.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be the first week for me in a while.
All right. Who else do you like in this range?
Well, I mentioned Jordan Smith kinda at the bottom
Oh
here.
yeah,
I like him. We haven't talked about this guy at all. Thunder Bear.
Thorborn, Piss Bear, Olison.
I mean, won a tournament this year.
I'm there.
I think we can get there with him.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely there. But let me tell you now, this guy's going to get talked up because it's too good to ignore, and people are going to see the price. They're going to see him priced around like Bobby Mack and Kurt Kitayama and Cam Davis and Byung Hanan, guys they know, names they know, like Keith Mitchell. Um, do you have any idea how good Alexander Bjork is playing right now?
He's one that I've looked at, and I think you're gonna tell me it's very well
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, he has 4 consecutive top 8s, including a 4th just this past Sunday at
Good.
the Maiden Himmerland. Then he had a disappointing T29, but then before that, he had another T4, a 4, a T14, a T16, a T28, a T42, a T2, a T16. I mean, like, he is locked and loaded. In 2023, he has a T42. He's played in, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 10, 12. He's played in 14 events in 2023. His worst finish is a T42. His next worst finish is a T29. And he has 6, 7 top 10s.
Pretty good.
And he did play here in 2021 when Minwoo Lee won. And he finished like 26th.
No, I like him a lot. I think he is certainly in play.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have low ownership because this is
Maybe. I mean, if he gets talked up on Mayo and like,
yeah.
Mayo's got he's got all the Euros on the Mayo Media Network. Our boy Tom Skyhook, I'm sure will say something. They all know. But if you're playing in like I don't know, maybe if that's where you got to know your contest. If it's the Mayo League, if it's probably a higher dollar single entries where the big money players are putting more research in, like they're going to know who he is. But if you're playing like the pitch and putt or some massive contest with it's mainly just regular public guy, he's ownership is probably going to be lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's enticing. I mean, yeah, Jordan Smith. I like Smith. I like Olison. I like Padraig Harrington there at 7,100. I mean, he's outstanding. Yannick Paul and Victor Perez right there at 71 are playing good.
By the
And
way, I just kind of happen to peruse the stats here on the DP World Tour site, which
yeah,
isn't the greatest, but I mean, you get just the first ones, total strokes gained. You got Olison in
yeah,
second, Bjork in third.
yeah.
Bjork's number 1 in scoring average right now. Olison's 5th. Adrian Morant comes up a lot too.
Yeah. They're all right there together.
Yeah.
Okay, where's Morant? Oh, yeah, right there at 7,300. Yeah, that's an interesting little group right there.
Mhm.
Those guys could do some damage.
Yep.
Anybody else in the 7K?
I think that's it for me. I mean, Padraig, my boy Padraig,
Yeah,
he could show up well.
yeah.
Other than that, I don't really see anybody down here that I'm that interested in.
I've done some digging and dropped some intel on some of these guys in the Discord. I'll do some more, especially these guys we don't really know. We want to try to find, who those guys are. Like names like Ewan Ferguson, Scottish. He's Scottish. He's doing Scotland really well.
Mhm.
He's been doing it really well since he was born. But he's an option. There's a lot of names here from the DP World Tour that a lot of people may not be super familiar with. And as the week progresses, be on the lookout for the sleepers video. I'll do that tomorrow. That will have at least one of those guys in here that I'll try to educate you on, and then we'll do the rest of it in the Discord. Between the research thread and the 2 live chats on Wednesday, we'll have it covered. We'll have it covered. We can't get too pot committed to anybody until we see what the weather's going to do. We get tee times and all that good stuff. So that would be the word of advice there. All right, 6K draft. You ready?
Yeah.
Cool. 6K draft brought to you by our friends at Underdog. Check out Underdog. They're fantastic. That's where we play a ton of our props every single week on Underdog. Available in these states. If you're watching on YouTube, it's most states. If you're not watching, you're just listening, just know it's most. Okay, it's most of the 50. You're eligible to play the Pick'em game on Underdog. There's also best ball drafts going on. There's a ton of nut hutters drafting best ball teams for the NFL right now on Underdog. You need to get involved with that if you've not already. I'm pretty confident that best ball will be a hot topic in the Discord up until the NFL season starts. So promo code is Junkies. You get 100% deposit match up to $100. Yeah, good stuff. So check out that. Click the link in the description. 6K draft. Let's get it started. I think. Oh, you already mentioned the 6K draft. All right, so we didn't do great last week. It just feels like let me just double check this real quick before I make the pick. Oh, it's really ugly. God, it's ugly. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I won't. All right, I'll start off. I mean, Richie Ramsey, and I like saying Ramsey.
Yeah, you do.
He's also a Scot, right? Just finished 3rd at the Maiden Himmerland, 5th a couple weeks ago before that, 7th at the Sedal. I think he's played here. Or am I missing that? Yeah, he didn't play here last year, but 15th in 2021, 34th in 2019 when they played the Aberdeen here. I mean, people are going to know who he is and talk him up. So it's not like he's going to go like completely overlooked, but feels like a solid play in the 6K range if you're going to dip your toe in here.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with Matthew Southgate at 6,700.
Ooh, I like a little Matthew Southgate.
Englishman has actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3 top 15 finishes in his last 6 events.
Yep.
So finish 4th at the Sedal Open, finish 12th at the Volvo Scandinavian mixed tournament, and then the 10th last week at the Maiden Himmerland tournament there. So is the H silent? Is it Immerland or Himmerland?
I think it's Himmerland. I don't know.
Anyway, top 10 there. I think Matthew Southgate makes some sense here, so I'm going to go with him. 6,700.
Southgate. All right, let's keep educating the people. Let's just we'll just keep doing that. I'm gonna go with where is he? Oh, another $6,900 player, a guy we're familiar with. He's played, and I kind of like the guys who have played in some events with like good PGA Tour players, just so that they don't show up and they're like just in awe. But Romain Langasque, the Frenchman.
Oh yeah, I know
Just
him.
checks a ton of boxes. He did not play here last year, but he played the Aberdeen with a third place finish in 2019. That was his best finish. But I mean, Romain's played in three Open championships. He's played in a Masters. He's played in a WGC event. He's played in 2 U.S. Opens, made the cut in both. So, and he's hot right now. I mean, he's where'd he go? T8 was his last finish at the Betfred British Masters. Had a T10, a T16, T2, all in his last 6 events. So, in good form, plenty of experience around big names and playing in big tournaments. I like that $6,900 Romain Langasque.
Okay. Is Frenchman, right?
Yeah, I think he's a Frenchman,
Yeah.
isn't he?
I'm going to go with another Frenchman.
Am I wrong on that? Yes, no, he's a Frenchman.
I'm going to go with another Frenchman.
Okay.
Mathieu Pavon.
Mathieu, like Achu?
I don't know. Mathieu Pavon. Also playing well this year.
Playing good.
Playing very well this year. Top 20s in 3 of his last 4 events. Has several. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10s going back to earlier this year. So I think he's a good one as well. I like the form there. And he'll check some boxes for you when you're looking at stats. He's up there when it comes to pretty decent off the tee as far as driving distance. Great putter. So I like that. So there you go.
Okay. My last pick is going to be $6,500 Callum Tarrant, a name we do know. The Englishman starting to play well again, which is good to see. In this field, over the last 24 rounds, he is 25th in strokes gained ball striking, including 23rd off the tee. He's kind of surged. He is now 89th in the FedEx Cup standings. So he's got to kind of, the big goal is to get into the top 70, because if you get in the top 70, you're essentially guaranteed your status in those top tier events next year. So I think he's going to be motivated. He played here last year, missed the cut, but I like the way. I mean, Callum Tarrant's going to hit it long. He's got good iron play. You definitely worry about the putter, but the short game and the putter can pop from time to time. So I'll go with Callum Tarrant, 6,500. Feels like a decent value when you consider he plays all of his tournaments on the PGA Tour, and he's 6,500 price, way lower than a lot of guys who are full time DP World Tour. Callum could do something here.
Yeah. Okay. Man, I don't know what I want to do here, DB. I think I'm going to go with a little bit of a crossover here too at the top at 6,900 and Matt Wallace. I'm going to go with my boy Matt Wallace.
And you and Matt Wallace have a rich history.
It's a very troubled relationship. And there's some folks in the hut that are going to be they're not going to be excited by this. But I'm going to put Matt Wallace again on the radar in the 6K draft and play him.
Wow. Never thought I'd see the day. I mean, you hate Matt Wallace.
No, I love him. Didn't you see all those tweets?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never responded.
That's the 6K draft. We got Ramsey, Langasque, Southgate, Pavon, Tarrant, and Wallace in the 6K draft. Next week, we're going to be together next week, not for the Open Championship show. I wish we could be, but we what?
That makes me think about something, DB.
What?
Because we haven't spun the wheel in a while, maybe because I'm always losing on those bets, but I'm paying off a bet next week.
Are you?
So now that you've just brought this up, that we're going to be together, I'm going to give you this choice, actually, because this could be, you may not care about this at all, but this is the waxing of the inner thigh. And I was going to do it on the show on Monday night, which I'm happy to do. If you want me to do it next Monday night for the Open Championship show, or whenever we decide to do that show, we may do it early. I don't know what we're going to do. And the wife, if you want to see the wife pull it off, she would rip off that wax. We can do that. Or maybe you want to do it while we're in person. I don't know if I want you ripping off anything on my inner thigh, though. So,
I will. This is an easy choice. I think the people are going to want. I think we want as many eyeballs on it as possible.
mm,
So I think we do it for the Monday night or the whatever show. Whether we probably do something on Sunday. I think
okay.
we do that and let the wife. I
Yeah.
think Sally would love. I think she'd be honored to do it.
Yeah. So we'll do that. That is gonna happen next week. So yeah.
Pat's getting his inner thigh waxed. He's finally paying off. I mean, at least I do have that going for me. I've been cold in the outright streets,
Mhm.
but I got that going. I am winning bets against you when we
All the
spin the
time.
wheel.
I don't remember the last one I won.
I don't either. But that's good. So we won't be together in person for the main shows. But next week we are traveling to Nashville. Our friends at Soket are based out of Nashville. They're having us up to do some content. So we'll be there Wednesday for the live chats with everybody. It's going to be a good time. And we're going to be doing some content there on Thursday and Friday as well. If you're in the area, let us know. Love to meet
Yeah.
some listeners. We're going to be hanging around Broadway. We're going to probably go to a golf course as well. So looking forward to going to Nash Vegas with my boy Pat. Should be a good time.
Yeah.
So just keep on the lookout too for the on the IG, the TikTok. Whenever we get together, we like to do some fun stuff there. Maybe you'll see some behind the scenes, shooting some content with our friends at SoBet. It'll be a good time. All right, I think that's it, Pat. Good show. I think we covered a lot in 50 minutes. I think we covered
Yeah.
a lot. This is good. All right, may your screens be green. See in the Nut Hut, see in the Discord. Don't forget, it's Scotland. Okay, stuff can get weird. Don't get too committed to your folks right now. Wait
Mhm.
till Wednesday. All right. May your screens be green. See ya. Out.